today we are taking up Satya Sai Padambujam Bhajare Manasa Nirantaram. So she will sing and then we will have a brief talk on that and then.
Satya Sai Padambujam Bhajare Manasa Nirantaram. Satya Sai Padambujam Bhajare Manasa Nirantaram. परमपवित्रं पावनचरितं परमपवित्रं पावनचरितं कलिमलदहनं श्रीगुरुचरणं कलिमलदहनं श्रीगुरुचरणं भवभयनाशन दुरितनिवारण भवभयनाशन दुरितनिवारण पर्तिपुरेश्वर पङ्कजचरणं पर्तिपुरेश्वर पङ्कजचरणं भजरे मानसनिरन्तरं भज भजरे मानसनिरन्तरं भज भजरे मानसनिरन्तरं भज भजरे मानसनिरन्तरं सत्य साई पादाम्बुजं भजरे मानसनिरन्तरम्.
O mind, meditate incessantly upon the most holy and auspicious lotus feet of Lord Satya Sai, the feet of the divine preceptor, which will eradicate the sins of this Kali age, the feet which will destroy all the fear of getting bound to the cycle of birth and death in this materialistic world, the feet which shall remove all the obstacles. The entire bhajan revolves around the charanam, the lotus feet of Bhagavan. In the scriptures relating to Vishnu, Krishna's feet and hands both are described. We will take up the description of Krishna's feet. On Krishna's feet, there are 19 symbols of Narayana or Vishnu. On the right foot, there are symbols of lotus, flag, chakra, umbrella, 4 swastikas, Uddhava Rekha, barleycorn, gourd, ashtakan, 4 jamun fruits and vajra. On the left foot, the symbols are 4 water pots, a conch, an unstrung bow, cow's hoof, fish, crescent moon, Akasha or space, and a triangle. In Skanda Puranam, the significance of all these 19 symbols are given. Without getting into all the 19 feet, couple of them, let's see. The disc clears or reduces all our 6 enemies for devotional life, such as desire, anger, jealousy, moha, pride, and vengeance. The lotus increases our desire for him in the minds of bee-like devotees who meditate on his feet. The conch reveals all the knowledge to the devotee. Elephant goat, which brings the elephants of his devotees' minds under control. Flag gives security and safe protection from all sorts of fear. Up curving line to take the devotee straight away to Krishna's world without interruption. Proceeding forward, Pada Sevanam, which is a state in the Navamrita Bhakti, which is referred in Srimad Bhagavatam, where Hiranyakashipu asks his son Prahalada, what all have you learned? And Prahalada, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto, chapter 5, verses 23-24. Shri Prahalada Uvacha, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnusmaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. Iti Pum Sarpita Vishnu Bhaktischena Nava Lakshana Kriyeta Bhagavati Adhattan Manye Dhitam Uttamam. That is, Prahalada says, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, Shravanam, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord as one's best friend, and surrendering everything to him. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. Out of that, since the bhajan is focused on the charanam, we will take up briefly on Pada Sevana. In another verse in Bhagavatam, Canto 10, it says, for one who has accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Murari, the enemy of the demon Mura, the ocean of the material world is like the water contained in a calf's hoof print. His goal is Parampadam or Vaikunta, the place where there are no material miseries, not the place where there is danger at every step. Another verse from Bhagavatam, O lotus-eyed Lord, by concentrating one's meditation on your lotus feet, which are the reservoir of all existence, and by accepting those lotus feet as the boat by which to cross the ocean of samsara, one follows in the footsteps of Mahajanas, that is, great saints, sages and devotees. By this simple process, one can cross the ocean of samsara as easily as one steps over the hoof print of a calf. And what else is required in spiritual sadhana other than the ultimate goal of crossing the ocean of samsara? Speaking of Padasevanam, speaking of Lord's feet, Brother Hari mentions in his Navavidha Bhakti talk, the composer of Sri Ramacharanam is someone based in Bangalore. He is into business related to music. And Brother Hari happens to talk to him about that bhajan, Sri Ramacharanam. And that composer says, for even qualifying to sing about Sri Rama, note, for even qualifying to sing the glory of Sri Rama, one must have read Rav Swami's Ramakatha Rasavahini. Hari says that what is this? One simple song and Rama, and he says that we have to read the entire Ramakatha Rasavahini. And then Brother Hari goes on to say, when he actually read Ramakatha Rasavahini, then he says, then only I could understand what is there in that, what Swami has given in the Ramakatha Rasavahini. Now, what is the significance of Padasevanam? In Dvaita Upasana, various interpretations have been given about Padasevanam. In fact, the reference in the Srimad Bhagavatam is that only Sri Lakshmi is qualified to serve at the feet of Narayana. Whereas in the Kali Yuga, Swami has given each one of us the opportunity to be at his feet, to have touched his feet, those fortunate ones, to have had darshan of that feet umpteen number of times, and to meditate on that sacred feet during bhajans, during dhyana. Now, what is the significance of this Padasevanam? When we are focused on a form, may it be any form, Rama, Lakshmana, Sai, Krishna, any form for that matter. Each bhakta, as per his mind and his approach, can focus on the Lord's face in different ways. And there are thousands of paintings giving the same Krishna in different ways, the same Rama in different ways. There are thousands of photographs of Swami at various ages. And also, even in case of incarnation, when an incarnation is born with a body, the body is bound to undergo the 6 changes and then perish, which has happened with Shirdi Sai, Parthi Sai, Krishna, Rama, everyone. But the beauty about the feet is that one has to meditate to experience what is being told now. the beauty of the feet, meditating on feet, is irrespective of the face, irrespective of the form of any god, any incarnation, the feet remains feet for all gods, all deities, all incarnations. Number one. Number two, even if we take Swami's feet, those who have had Padasparshan would know what it is to touch Swami's feet. Tender, soft feet. Even if one has to focus on Swami's feet, if the focus is intense, you have to try it out to experience it yourself. If the focus is intense on Swami's feet, after a few minutes, that thought, that mind which gives you that impression of that tender feet of Swami, that will go. And only that bhava of that surrender will remain. That is the beauty of Padasevana. In other words, without telling it explicitly or without feeling it, of course he is telling now, without feeling it explicitly, are we not going from form to formless through the Padasevana, through meditation on Lord's feet? How wonderful is that process. One has to try it out, one has to meditate on that feet, any chosen Lord's feet. If the meditation is sincere, if we are sincerely focusing and meditating on the feet, the difference between Shirdi Sai's feet, Parthi Sai's feet, Rama's feet, Krishna's, Devi's feet, all those differences, this bound, capital letters, bound to go after a few minutes. What remains is that bhava of that surrender. Every week, Thursdays, every week, what do we do when we come here and when we prostrate at these feet? In Tamil, in English, what we say for an egoistic person, we say that he has got a lot of head weight, correct? That head weight, that ego we are placing here at this feet, surrendering at this feet. That is the bhava of prostrating at the feet, prostrating at any elder's feet, any guru's feet, for that matter. What happens in the process? Kalimala dahanam Shri Guru Charanam, Bhava Bhaya Nashana, Durita Nivarana. Do we actually need anything else in the path of devotion if we actually understand the meaning of these lines? Kalimala dahanam Shri Guru Charanam, Bhava Bhaya Nashana, Durita Nivarana. It says the sins are washed away. Okay, let us think this way. That whatever we have this karma theory which gives us 100% clarity, that irrespective of our deeds, our thoughts, the extent of our purity in this birth, whatever we have done in the past, or even in this birth till the time we have attained that purity, we are bound to reap the fruits of those karmas, those actions, good and bad. So, suppose even if the sins are not getting washed away totally, symbolically, in spiritual sense, they are washed away, in the sense that when this head, this mind, which is worried all the time about our sorrow, our pains, whatever we are suffering in this world due to our karmas, when this is surrendered at the Lord's feet, then even if we have to suffer for our sins, what we learned from today's post about the prasad, once we offer that, and that prasad, we don't see what is this, whether it is sweet, whether it is sour, whether whatever it is, whether actually we like the taste, we would have it as food or not, we don't see, we just accept it. Exactly, it is proven in this Kalimala Dahanam, where when we have surrendered at Lord's feet, then whatever comes to us, we know that we are suffering or we are enjoying due to our deeds. B, come what may, if I have surrendered at Lord's feet, then, and also whatever I have to undergo, let it get cleared fast. I don't want to postpone, I don't want to have these breaks of smaller happiness and then postpone this inevitable sorrow to the next birth or next birth or to the later years when I am going to catch the sick bed. No, let things get cleared fast, so that let my prarabdha get cleared, let all the acute prarabdhas get cleared, and then let me reach a level where I can get closer and closer and closer to Swami. And of course, Bhavabhaya Nashana, in that surrender, what we get, we have gone through the entire route from attraction to Atmanivedana. If you have surrendered, then there is no one who can be left in you to have any fear whatsoever of any agony, any sickness, any disease, and even the death. But for that, this surrender has to be 100%, not 99%. It is not that, it doesn't happen this way, that you surrender at the Lord's feet and you think you have surrendered, you are convinced you have surrendered, and then you put up the question to Swami and ask, I have surrendered to you, even then why you are giving me? No, you have not surrendered. That mind is playing there. 1,000 times he has repeated this. It is worth repeating for the 1,001th time. If Prahlada had not surrendered while he was thrown from mountain from his father's army, for a split of a second that fear would have gripped him. From that high mountains I am falling, what is going to happen? And only due to his absolute surrender, Narayana had no other choice to spread a bed of flowers on which he fell. If our pains, our feeling of pains, feeling of agony, feeling of agitation, feeling of unrest, feeling of anger, all these things are continuing, benchmark is that we have not surrendered to Swami. we should not use that word surrender. We should be silent. If anyone says, we can say, I am in the process. It's a long way. When we have surrendered totally to Bhagavan's feet, then there can be no one in us to get elated when promotions come, when properties come, when glory comes, when appreciations come, when accolades come, or there can be no one when you are slapped, when you are hurt, when you have pains, when you have disease. That is surrender. That is surrender. And the intense meditation on this sacred feet. Bhuloga Vaikunta Parti Divasam. From there he descended and he walked amongst us and he offered his feet to us. Come, come, come one. Birthday speech, Kasturi's translation, come one, come all. Swami says, come to me. Surrender at my feet. Be at rest. Be at peace. For what, how does it matter if we are undergoing pain? It is not that somebody is talking theoretically, he himself undergoes a lot of pains, lot of issues in the organization, everywhere where he has to perform. So it's all practical, it's not something theoretical which cannot be experienced. So what? As the saying goes, undaki kondadellam unnale, we have done whatever we have sown, the seeds. The seeds are bound to spring up and then give the sprouts, give bitter fruits or very sweet fruits. We have sown these seeds. We have done our actions. A, B, whatever. Let us clear it fast. So that if at all we have to come in the next birth, let all these things be cleared. Let us be born in a pious family. Let us have the spiritual orientation from the childhood, not waste 25, the precious youth, 25, 30, and do all stupid things and then repent later. No. Having understood this most sacred, most significant stage of Pada Sevanam in the Navamida Bhakti, a question should arise in the mind, in the sattvic mind of a spiritual a sadhaka. If this much is the significance of this Pada Sevanam, that from form to formless we can go through this in this stage, then should that not have been in the 8th stage, penultimate stage of the Atma Nivedana? Why it is in the 3rd or 4th stage? We have surrendered at the feet, we have gone from form to formless. What else is there? Total Atma Nivedanam. Next, if someone ever comes up with a question, the answer is, today we have taken up Pada Sevanam, since the bhajan focuses on the charanam. But in the Navamida Bhakti, there are proofs. Devotees have existed to prove that each stage is complete by itself if taken up sincerely. From Shravanam Parikshit stage reached self-realization. From Dasyam Hanuman reached that state. From Sakhyam Arjuna reached. He was given the Bhagavad Gita. So, whatever we take up in these stages, The one required thing is 100% sincerity. Whether it is Shravanam or Archanam or Vandanam or Padasevanam or Dasyam or Sakyam. Atma Nivedanam is not a stage, Atma Nivedanam is the culmination. Yes, but having understood this, what a beautiful stage is this. When the Sri Ramacharanam is sung or any bhajan is sung, you start focusing on the Lord's feet. And even for a moment, if the mind is there, let it even okay. To begin with, it is okay. Let the mind even capture, do the recap of whatever experiences we have had with Swami's feet. And then slowly the meditation increases. The intensity increases in the meditation. The shape of the feet, that this thing thought is gone. What remains is surrender, total surrender. With this learning, we will learn the bhajan. Each line Geeta will sing, and then each line Geeta will sing, and then from the lady side once they will take, and then from the gent side they will take. And any correction she will make, and then she will go to the second. If there is any variation in lines, she will take accordingly.
Satya Sai Padambujam Bhaj Re Manas Nirantaram. Satya Sai Padambujam Bhaj Re Manas Nirantaram. परम पवित्रं पावन चरितं परम पवित्रं पावन चरितं कलिमलदहनं श्रीगुरुचरणं कलिमलदहनं श्रीगुरुचरणं भवभयनाशन दुरित निवारण भवभयनाशन पङ्कजचरणम् पर्तिपुरीश्वर पङ्कजचरणम् भज रे मानस निरन्तरम् भज भज रे मानस निरन्तरम् भज भज रे मानस निरन्तरम् भज भज रे